Hello, beautiful ones. I'm going to talk about my post about jumping the chasm. So, along life's journey, you'll come across a great chasm. And a chasm is like a big hole in the ground. You know, if you look at it and if you look at it, it's pretty scary because if you jump and you miss it, you're probably going to die. So it's really scary. You're coming along life's journey, you will come across a great chasm. We all come across the great chasm. It's just a metaphor. Jump. It is not as wide as you think. So, what does this mean? All right. So, it means along life's journey, there's always something that calls us. Joseph Campbell, anyone else out there like Star Wars? Star Wars was designed, George Lucas modeled Star Wars after Joseph Campbell's work on the hero's journey. And the hero's journey talks about that we have to listen to our desires. It's follow your bliss. Your bliss is your desire. Your bliss, your inner desires are like your guide. They're telling you the direction you're supposed to go. And everybody has their own direction. That's why when you ask somebody you love, a good friend, what you should do, a lot of times they're giving you advice from their heart, but you are the one that knows. You have the insight, you have the direction. So everybody is born with a gift. Everybody is born with something unique and something that's calling them. And along life's journey, a lot of times there'll be something that calls you, and it's scary because it's where your life is. So it might be something small, like taking some type of class, or it might be something big, like you want to move to another part of the world. It is something that has been calling you. Whatever it is, listen to it, and you come to that, and it's scary. So you can go, when you get to that chasm, you can go back. Your back is where it's safe, it's comfortable. You know, you've been there for a long time, so it's comfortable, even if it's not happy and it's not joyful and it's not what you want, it's comfortable. And a lot of us will stay in comfort zones for a long time. I was in comfort zones for a long time. Most of us are. But if you stay there, you're going to be in your comfort zone. But if you jump, that is where your life is. That is where everything starts. So it's that motive. Like in Star Wars, Obi-Wan comes to Luke Skywalker in the beginning and says, hey, I want you to come with me. And he's like, no, thank you. I'm happy here with my aunt and uncle. So he leaves. And what happens usually is that the hero initially refuses the call. It's normal. We usually will at first refuse the call. So you refuse the call, and then something happens. In Star Wars case, the stormtroopers came and blew everything up and killed his aunt and uncle, so he had no choice. All of a sudden, he's on the journey. And it's kind of like walking the hero's journey. Now you're on the journey. Now, you know, on the Wizard of Oz, you're on the yellow brick road. And when you go on that yellow brick road, if you look at any myth, they come across dragons, they come across seductresses, they come across monsters, they come across others that want to kill them, people that they think are friends that betray them. They come across all these things. Well, that is actually a metaphor for life. So as you're going through the road, you're going to come across dragons and monsters, and they might be outside dragons or monsters, or they may be things within yourself that you need to slay. And it can be, you know, the depression, it can be the anger. And when those things are coming to you, feel them. They're teaching you something. Often, a lot of us come from families that have histories of pain that gets passed on from generation to generation. The subconscious patterns rule us, the belief systems in the family, and the belief systems are whatever is going on, the invisible things. If you come from some place that has melancholy, that has depression, that has abuse, that has addictions, any of those things, they're passed on. Even if it's something small, like you had a parent that was just sad a lot or angry a lot, those things get passed on, and they become, sometimes they become our subconscious patterns, so we repeat them. So if you're going through life and you keep repeating the same bad relationship or keep having the same thing, a lot of times it's a subconscious pattern. So sometimes those are your own dragons that you have to go in and you have to heal those things. But be patient with yourself, beautiful ones. And it doesn't mean that you know exactly where you're going. I'm not saying that your bliss is, you know, some people know I want to be a great artist and that's my thing, or I want to be this type of doctor. Some of us have that. A lot of us don't. I didn't. I had no idea. I just started following what was calling me. And a lot of times it's kind of like a labyrinth. It takes you here, and then it takes you here, and it takes you here, and it takes you here, and it takes you here. It may be just that you've always wanted to take a dance class, or you've always wanted to live someplace else. You know, for me, I always wanted to live someplace warm. I grew up someplace very, very cold, and it's a beautiful place. A lot of people, most people don't leave it, and if they leave, they come back. But I had a calling to live someplace with saguaros and palm trees. So I went there, and when I went there, I discovered people, and I discovered classes, and I discovered things that I had never, that they didn't offer where I grew up, and that took me on a new path, and that took me on a new path. So just honor what it is. You might not know what that journey is, but be patient with yourself. You are on the yellow brick road. Once you walk this road and you start to face your fears, so this is the other thing that is part of the hero's journey. The cave that you are afraid to enter holds your greatest treasure. So I'm going to use me for an example. One of my lifetime fears, always, since I was in the 3rd grade, is being on camera. Right now, what I'm doing right now is the scariest thing for me in my entire life. All of my life, like when I was in grade school and high school and young adult, all my life, you will never see me in any kind of video. If someone took out the video recorder, I was out the door. I was like, always. So for me, like, this is facing one of my fears. I was scared to death to get on camera. But a lot of times, the thing that you are afraid to do holds your greatest treasure. So the cave that you're afraid to enter holds your treasure. So it's normal to be afraid, and it's normal. So again, along life's journey, you're going to come across a great chasm, and it's going to be scary, right? You look down, if you miss, your history, right? So you don't want to jump, but do you really want to go back to keep having the safe life, or do you want to have your hero's adventure, and you want to find out where it leads and where life is taking you and your gift? So you jump. The last thing I want to talk about is in the history and the myths. Okay, the bad guy, right? The villain. There's always the villain. You know, there's Darth Vader. Well, if you look at Darth Vader in the story, Darth Vader grew up as a boy who was supposed to become the great Jedi leader, right? He started out as a good guy. Well, so this is the story of all of us. All of us can become the villain when we don't follow our bliss, when we don't follow our things. So, for example, if there is, when you are doing what you love to do and you're following your bliss, it gives you great joy. So I can honestly say, doing these lives and doing the things I'm doing on Instagram and empowering people, it gives me so much joy. Like, it's indescribable. I've never felt happier. I've never felt more joyful. I love this journey where it's taken me. So for me, it gives me a great gift. It gives me inner joy because I followed something that was really scary. And the thing too is that if you have a gift, and if it only touches one person, it could be that you are an artist and you create beautiful art, you create beautiful crafts, whatever it is, you are a beautiful cook. Whatever it is, if you touch one person, imagine you touch one person's life, what does that look like? That one person, think about all the people that one person touches in their life. And then those people that they touch, it is like a ripple in an ocean. You touch one person, boom, and the ripple keeps on going. It's like you are changing the world. So when you don't follow and you don't face your fears and you don't follow your bliss, you become the villain because you destroy yourself, because you don't give yourself that joy, and you destroy others because you are not meeting and you're not impacting the people that you were born to impact in this world. So that is, I believe, the metaphor of the villain. So we don't want to become that. We are all amazing, and I know life is hard. I'm not going to come up here and say, hey, I follow my bliss, I'm doing this stuff. Life is just rosy and everything's perfect for me. I have done years of self-healing. I've gone in, I've been changing my subconscious patterns, I've been facing my anger and my melancholy and my different things, and I still get them. It's kind of like it's layers. Sometimes I think, oh, things are great, and then all of a sudden, boom, I wake up and this depression comes or this anger comes at me, and I'm like, oh my goodness, I have more to do. But it is normal, beautiful ones. It is a road. You are on the yellow brick road. You are on this road of your adventure, of your healing. Just keep walking that road and just be patient with yourself. And when you're having those hard days, just let that roll through you and just know that after the storms, the rainbows come. And tell yourself when you're having those bad days, love yourself those days. Treat yourself to something beautiful. Go buy yourself some beautiful flowers. Go outside where it's high vibration. Do something that makes you feel better. My thing I always do is I look in the mirror and I tell myself, I love you. I really, really love you. You are the love of my life. I will never leave you. I promise to love, honor, cherish, and respect you all the days of my life. And guys, I have been in the car with tears going down my face, at the stop sign, taking my little visor up and saying, I love you, because I've had some hard things. All of us are alive. We've all had some hard things. So, beautiful ones, follow your adventure, follow your road, follow the yellow brick road, and again, along life's journey, you will come to a great chasm. Jump. It is not as wide as you think. I love you. You are beautiful. You are powerful. You are more amazing and more powerful than you know. You are loved